What up, everybody? What up? What up? Wait for a few people to jump in there. Share this on the socials. Let's see here. Let's see here. What up? Just going to share this on a couple of my social medias real quick, and we'll jump to it. If you guys got any questions, you can ask away. Here we go. Share. Facebook. Ask away. Tech. All right. What up? What up? Yo, what up? Let me just post this to my Instagram real quick. INSTN. Give me just a second, guys. Almost done here. Done. Post the link real quick. Of course it didn't work. 10 people in. You guys can stare at me on my phone for a minute while I'm doing this. How's the audio? Can you guys hear me okay? Search again. Duneaddict. There we go. Share. Copy link. There we go. Link. Paste. Sorry, guys. Q and what up? Chandler editing. Eating my overpriced Las Favoritos. Right on. That was good. I have a problem with the exciter wire. Not putting out 12 volts, 102.5 at Ecotech. Can I get the voltage from my switch and just add a dummy light? Yeah, you can actually. If it's an Ecotech, it's probably a GM 1-wire alternator or GM 2-wire. So, yeah, you can give it 12. You can grab it off the injectors, coil packs. Check it in from Brawley. What up? Let me just finish posting this real quick, and we'll jump into some questions. Not W&A. What's everybody doing tonight? How you guys doing? I am doing fabulous. Live, L-I-V-E. Done. One more here, guys. All right. Stories. Right on. All right. Any ETA in the new video on the tube? Not yet. I've got some footage of me working on that not a lot of people like. And I might be going to Glamis maybe this weekend and doing some content in my car. Not sure yet. I'm a little bit undecided. I've got a bunch of other stuff going on. I'm trying to get my Honda ready for Streetcar Takeover in January here in Arizona. So if a lot of you don't know, we had a catastrophic, you know what? I think the camera's mirrored. Hold on a second real quick, guys. Let me wipe this off. Hold on. It's just a glare. Anyways, we had a catastrophic failure on the dyno with Che Bella. The motor that's in that car, Tom called Junkyard Judy because we built it with a bunch of parts that I just had laying around the shop. Used some old pistons, put a new set of rings on them, and I think that thing made 867 on 30 pounds. And I had the great idea of putting a giant set of webcams in it. We degreed them, but I think we weren't quite right with the degreeing. And I had some valve-to-valve clearance issues. Third pull on the dyno, second pull on the dyno on low boost, it made It made like 790 or 800. Like it was looking like it was going to go for the moon. And the third pull, it looks like we had a little bit of valve float issue. Something happened and the valves hit each other, and that was all she wrote. Luckily, Jamie was able to shut the car off quick. Like that stopped a lot of damage, because what happens when you have valve problems and that stuff breaks and gets into the motor, it continues to go everywhere. We were at 9,000 RPMs when the motor let loose. And I had pieces everywhere in my exhaust manifold, in my intake. Some stuff did go through the turbo, but it didn't hurt the wheel or anything at all. The fins are all still straight, so I got really lucky there. I took the exhaust housing off and dump it out and wash it, and there was tons of metal pieces and parts in there. The intake manifold was full of stuff. So I'll have some of that in my newest video. I try to mix it up a little bit, not do too much Honda content during the season. 9,000 was definitely, yeah, it was on the way up, dude. That it was going to make some power. So I've got a new motor in there now. We're naming it Junkyard Judy 2. It came out of Goldmember. That I bought an Integra that is an ex NHRA hot rod car from my friend Eric Del Rosario. Guy, I've known him for probably 30 years. They were racing the car back in 2005, and they broke the transmission and then parked the car in the garage, and it sat ever since. I picked up the car, and it had a bunch of parts on it that I wanted for Che Vela, so I'm parting the car out. But I pulled the motor out. We took it apart, and it had some older Eagle rods in it, so I had a set of Crowder rods on the shelf here. Another used part that I had laying around, which is way better than the Eagles. So we threw the Pro Billet rods in there and then did a set of Trom Outlaw 84 millimeter pistons. So that's an 80. Old motor was 81 mil. This one's 84 mil. Should make a little bit more torque and maybe a little bit more steam. Again, that catastrophic failure on my old motor, it literally, the only things that were salvageable are the rods and the crank. It's my opinion, NHRA creating Street Outlaws class in 2026. 10 big tire cars to start. Hang on a real sec. I got to grab some. I think that's an incredible idea, and kudos to the NHRA for doing something like that. I wish they would get more involved in local drag racing, kind of the way it used to be. But anyways, back to my car real quick. Catastrophic failure. The cylinder head's trash. The cams are still good. The valve springs are questionable. Valves obviously gone. The cylinder head itself is garbage. And then one of the valves went sideways and got up into a water jacket, filled the cylinder full of water, and it cracked the sleeve. So that block needs to be re-sleeved. The block itself doesn't have any holes in it, so that's good. But I do have 2 other sleeve blocks for this car at the machine shop right now. So this motor that's in here now should make 1,000, no problem. Not even breathing hard. With the turbo that's on there, we should be good to go for 1,000. So let me see what else is going on here. Going to be in the low 80s this weekend and beautiful. Set my paddle on my bike. Oh, that's rad, dude. Okay. I'm having an issue with my 930 to Type 1 stub axle nut. They keep coming loose. They keep coming loose. Well, I think it's like on that Type 1 stub, I think it's 350 foot-pounds or something for that nut. And then put a cotter pin through it. We usually just hit them with a big Milwaukee gun, and they stay pretty stout. If all else fails, throw some red Loctite on it and then put the cotter through it. How much of a difference in ET and 60 foot when I went all-wheel drive? Bro, night and day difference. I will never own a front-wheel drive Honda again. I've owned so many of them, and I'm so used to and the wheel jerking out of my hands and bouncing off the rev limiter. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's fun. But now when I launch my car, there is no spin. It's gone. So like I used to drive the car on the street And in a front-wheel drive car, when you step on the gas, it does that tire spin. Now, no spin at all. It just throws you in the back of the seat and takes off. So, sorry, I'm itching like a tweaker here. I got mosquitoes in my garage, and I think I just got bit. Little bastards. Sorry. Yeah, I'd be really stoked if NHRA, the fact that it's like a street outlaws class, I mean, those cars are super fast. Big tire street outlaw style cars are freaking like super, super fast. Like they run in the 3s and the 8th. Let's see. Glamis Virgin here. Looking to come for President's Weekend. Any advice or tips for an old guy coming to Glamis for the first time? What wash is the best? Personally, I don't like camping in the washes at all. If I'm going to camp, I like camping in Gecko because it's quieter. And by quieter, I mean less dust, less traffic coming in and out of Gecko. What else advice can I give you? Don't plan on anybody else looking out for you. Make sure you look out for yourself. And by that, I mean, watch where you're going. People, sometimes they just don't pay attention. So just be alert out there when you're riding. Way to go on the consistent content lady. Oh, right. Thank you. Hi, Kirsty. I didn't see that was you. It's a burnout feeling, but I'm still making L progress slowly but surely. Can't wait to get out there. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. The sand car your seat is calling you. It's right there. Did the L look great when I came out there and looked at it, dude? I was really, really stoked and super proud of you. You're making crazy headway on that car. Like, that thing is way nicer than your dad ever made it, dude. I'm sure he's totally proud and smiling down on you for sure. What's the lead time to get my car into San Limo? Believe it or not, we just are finishing up the last 2 cars at Limo right now. And then Joe has taken a couple of weeks off for the Christmas vacation. If you call him now and schedule it for after Christmas vacation, I bet you we could get you in pretty quickly. Yeah, mosquitoes they're insane here in Arizona. It's crazy. We had a huge amounts of rain come through, and I live right behind the canal, so I keep my torch handy. So when I see them fly by, I hit them with a torch. 180-ish on an 8th mile with decent booster spray. Yeah, for sure. Like those big tire street outlaw cars are no joke. They are super fast. Defensive during it. Yeah, defense definitely. I don't know, man. 1.5 60 foot right here, front wheel drive. Tommy, yeah, 1.5 60 foot on a front wheel drive car is really, really good. But let me ask you a question: how much weight are you hanging over the front of that car, and how streetable is it? Because my car, I'm hanging 0 weight off the front of that car, maybe 60 pounds right now. And most of the guys' weight plates are 250 or 300 pounds. That car's 100% streetable and a 1:43 60-foot time on a bad prep track all day long. That car should 60 in the low 1.3s, high 1.2s when I'm done with it. And that was on stock axles. You're not 60 foot, and that was stock axles in a front wheel drive car. That's for sure, buddy. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I do love my front wheel drive boys. Thanks, man. I have that VTEC issue I texted you about. I don't know what VTEC. I don't remember. Dude, listen, sometimes I respond to stuff like that. Sometimes I don't. I get probably 200 text messages a day from Honda guys wanting, help or dunes or cars. And it's hard because I have a regular full-time job. I work at San Limo wiring cars over there, and I've got a bunch of stuff going on here, and I have a family. So it's hard to respond to everybody. So if I do not respond to you guys, please don't take it personally. Don't get offended. I'm just super, super busy. Who's my go-to guy in Phoenix for 2D rebuilds? That would be Bill at Arizona Transaxle Exchange. He is my guy. Where can you find the ad for my drag bug? It's on Facebook Marketplace. Just type in 67 VW bug. You cry when I don't message you back. Sorry. Again, like I said, man, I am super, super busy. I was out in Colorado last month tuning on this car when it let loose and on a friend's sand car. And he drove both ways. So I was actually able to catch up on a bunch of messages and stuff. So I was texting with people. And then once I got back into town, I got super busy again. And a bunch of people were like, hey, what the hell, man? I thought we were friends. And I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. I had a brief moment in time where I wasn't, up to my ass. So no, San Limo is not my main job. It was a Baja Bug with a J35. Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember you messaging me, dude. Here's the problem. We're coming up on the Christmas holiday and New Year's. I'm going to be in Glamis, working till after New Year's. And I can't take in any cars here. My shop is packed. I have 13 cars on my property here right now, and I'm only on half an acre. It's a lot. So I can't take in any more customer cars at my place right now. We'll talk after New Year's. If it's just a troubleshooting issue like that, where it's, the car won't rev, I could probably just have you bring the car in. I'll move my car out and I'll work on it same day, and you can take it home when it's done. So I should be able to troubleshoot that in a couple hours. No, yeah, San Limo is definitely not my main job. How many hours do I get at night? Not very many. But again, it's I feel like 13 is lowballing. Yeah, my wife might be watching. It might be lowballing a little bit. 130-pound weight plate and a PPG dog box. Not streetable, really. Right. So that car, my best 60 foot on that car with a bone stock CRV transmission was a 141. No weight in the front, and the car's 100% streetable. That 141 was during Rocky Mountain Race Week, where I drove it over 1,000 miles on the street. So that's the difference between all-wheel drive and front-wheel drive, man. It makes, and it's so much easier on your drivetrain components. That car's been all-wheel drive for 3 years, and it's been on stock drivetrain stuff. And by stock, I mean O'Reilly's front axles and Rock Auto rear axles. And I've gone a best of 921 at 100. I'd have to look it up, but it was 139 or 141 or somewhere in that range. The car's run low nines, almost a high 8. It did have 8-second potential with stock axles. Fastest ET with a bone stock CRV transmission, it went, I think it went 10-1. And then I had to put a gear set in it. No, maybe I did. I think I went 990. No, 10-1. 10-1 with a stock CRV trans. Oh, right on. Thank you, Denise. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I think I went 10-1 with the stock trans in that, and the CRV trans are geared really, really short. So I'm like in 5th gear at the end of the quarter mile. Yeah, send me a text, bro. We'll set something up for after New Year's. Oh, definitely. I'll post a video from New Year's in Glamis. That's for sure. Absolutely for sure, dude. Definitely. And I think I get there. I think I go the day after Christmas. I'll have to check my schedule and see what my work schedule looks like too. Somebody asked what I do outside of San Limo. I've been in the wireless industry for almost 30 years. I am a field technician for a very large tower company. That's my 9-to-5 job, or my 9 to, whatever. I'm actually on call this week, so I work all hours. How much money do I have in my PBS trans in my sand car? Exactly. Well, this one's hard, right? Because my wife's watching. No, I'm kidding. It was 10 grand. I got it from my friend Adam, and it actually worked out really well for me because Adam was selling the transmission for 10, and I sold my 2D that was in this car for 12. Good audio. Cool. So I sold it for 12.5, installed at Glamis Fab. So the shop made a couple grand, and I got paid for working at Glamis Fab to install it in somebody's car. I got the 10 grand, gave it to my buddy Adam, and I picked up the PBS. So, yes, I did have to retab the chassis for the PBS. And at the time, we were going through my whole car front to back, so we just cut all the 2D stuff out and started over because I went with midboards. Yep, full refab. Let me see if I can turn it more. You guys want to see? Oh, sorry. There's the car. So I haven't had it out much. Carl from Shock Talk's going to take it after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's, and dial in all my suspension for me and get that thing just tip top like he normally does. But it's pretty close now. I've driven it a couple times and it friggin' rips, but it's so fast now that it's on the back tire all the time. When I'm accelerating, the front tires are only touching the ground. Like they're like this high off the ground. Can't believe that that's an old San Limo that I bought for $6,000 like 13 years ago. Back when I lived in California in Lake Elsinore. I bought that from a guy that was a friend of people that I duned with. And it had a bus transmission in it and a 4.8 liter LS with a hole through the side of the block. And it was stuck in second gear. But that, believe it or not, like buying that San Limo actually changed my life. It changed my entire life. We out here. What up, dude? What up? Hot topic, clocking CVs. I don't do it. Yeah, Jared, what up, dude? We're doing well. So like I was saying, buying that San Limo actually changed my entire life. It changed my friends who I duned with, my source of income. Joe Fab is probably one of my best friends right now. Like he's one of those guys that although he'd complain about it, you could call him at 3 o'clock in the morning and he'll come get you out of a ditch. He's just a hell of a guy. Became really good friends with him, ended up moving to Arizona, not because of him. I needed to get out. I wanted to get out of California and turns out I only live 3 miles from Joe. So I'm close to the shop and Joe and I are just really good friends. So, and having him owning a San Limo and living 3 miles from his shop, is Weto's car done yet? Hold on. I'll get back to that. Being a good friend of Joe's and living that close to the shop, you guys have seen, I'm going to put out a video, start to finish with my car from us tearing it down, cutting the roof off, refabbing the whole thing. The fab work alone would cost, I would imagine 15 to 20, maybe 25,000 in fab work. And Joe did it for me because we're friends. You know, he wants me to have a badass car. So, yeah. So like I said, buying a San Limo changed my whole life, believe it or not. Let's see. What was the next question? Hot topic, clocking CVs. I do not clock CVs ever. I know some people do. Some people swear by it. We do not. What did I have before the limo? Before the limo, I had a Chenoweth Explorer 4-seater beam car with a Honda V6 in it. I actually had a turbo Pinto motor in it when I bought it, and then I swapped it to Honda V6. What up, what up? Is Weto's car done yet? Yes, Weto's car is done. And if Timid Exact Dyno gets back to me tomorrow, we're taking his car, Joe's car, and my Volkswagen, my Bug over there. My Bug's on the other side of my sand car. We're probably going to take all 3 of those cars to the dyno. But yeah, I've got like Weto's car starts, runs, everything's ready to go. Dyno or no dyno, I believe Weto's car will be in Glamis this weekend and he will be driving it. So yeah, it's done. Do we have any old hoods laying around for sale? No, unfortunately we do not, but we can get you one. Yeah, we can get you a hood, no problem. Our fiberglass guys right down the street, they have the plug and the mold. They can make them all day long. Hit up Joe. Oh, there you go. Someone's got a San Lomo hood. Do I think my bug would be competitive at War in the Woods running in the manual H pattern class? My bug has gone a best of 904 at 154. God, it's crazy to think that my Honda is faster than my bug. But my bug is not H pattern. It is it's called a gated shifter. It's not a sequential, but it's you pull a handle first, second, third, fourth. It's front back. So I cannot run that car in the H pattern class. Everyone's excited for Weto's car. Yeah, dude, no one's more excited than Weto is. That guy, I was with him today when I went by the shop. I was wiring up a power steering unit for a car that he's working on. And that dude, he is so fired up. And, Weto is like one of the most humble guys I've ever met. He's so thankful for everything he gets. And it's just awesome. He's an awesome guy. I like to say that we've become pretty good friends. Are we going to race? There's no comparison. We can video Joe's car all day long, but there's no way. I don't think there's any way he'll keep up. But, he is a crazy bastard. So he drives, that dude can drive. So it is a beam car, but it's just got like little thin seats, fiberglass seats in it. And the dunes are not what they once used to be. They're beat up now. So if you don't have a big long travel car, you're going to have some kidney problems in that fucking thing. So I don't know. Joe is one hell of a driver. I've duned with him a couple times, and he is a freaking madman, dude. I would put him up against anybody in the dunes. That's for sure. He's a badass driver out there. Oh. What else? What else is going on? Man, my orange car suspension is bad. So bad it hurts my heart, literally. Yeah, I think he's going to need a chiropractor. Even the shocks on the front are like, they're like FabTech shocks or something. It's cool. He built an old school car. It's actually a copy of the very first San Lomo that he ever built, which I thought was really cool, but that guy hasn't been out in the dunes in a long time, and they are rough, so unless we get way, way out, I would imagine that I would drive right by him. Let's see. Your cousin has a San Lomo Cruiser with an Acura 3.5 and a bus box. Do you have to refab the car to go 091? So if it's an 091 is a bus box. So if he has a 002, no, you can actually swap the bell housing and use the 002 bell housing on the 091, and it will bolt right in. Bell housing's easy to swap. You're the guy that didn't want to be in the video when I broke my Heim Thanksgiving. Yeah, what up, dude? How's it going, bud? Did you replace your rear arms on your sand car? Yes, I did. Yeah, they've got big monster arms in the rear now. Yep, monster. It's got loader tires on it right now, but turn it a little bit more. Big plug for my boy Mike over at King Shocks. Thank you so much for your support, dude. I couldn't do it without you guys. Mike is a great guy. What else? What else is going on, guys? What other questions you got for me? Seeing that I can't answer my phone or text messages, you might as well do it now. Yes, 5/8 bolts. No, I don't dune on the holidays, bud. I work. I don't dare take my car out on the holiday weekends. I'm afraid someone will smash into it. How do I pick out paddle size? Well, there's a couple different ways. I'll look at a car and I factor in the weight of the car, how much horsepower does it make, what's your driving style, and what's existing on the car and how well it worked. I'm running a 35-inch staggered paddle. It's the new Rogue staggered. I don't think anyone has them yet, but Cletus and myself. So it's 20 paddles and they're staggered. And it's a 35-inch tall tire on a 15-inch rim. They're freaking badass. You guys have seen my videos. You've seen them. They're all the traction, that's for sure. No, I'm good, babe. Thank you. What's Glamis like on a weekday, like Tuesday through Thursday? It's pretty dead. Do they hook up good compared to an STU? Yeah, I'll jump back to that real quick. On a weekday, it's pretty dead out there. Unless it's in between two holidays, then it's busy. But yeah, it's pretty dead. Let's see here. Do they hook up pretty good compared to an STU? I think when you're comparing tires like that, the reason we run a Rogue, the reason I like the Rogues is because they don't weigh anything. They're less than half the weight of an STU. And when you can get all the rotating mass off the back of that car, it's easier on CVs, drivetrain. So my car, after I switch it to E85, will make close to 700 wheel horsepower. It makes dyno charts on the wall, made like 580 on pump gas. And it's a 12-to-1 440 LSX. So should make close to 700 at the tire. And I'm running 930 CVs in that car. So it's a lot easier on the drivetrain. Plus, I don't drive like an asshole. But it's a buff tire versus a molded tire. And so we run about 20 pounds in the paddle instead of airing them way down. And the car will stay on top of the sand and it will slide. I love sliding my car into corners. And I'll flip the steering wheel and I can slide the car sideways. And then as soon as I step on the throttle, the car squats, the paddles hook, and it takes off. Let's see here. What else? Listen, don't get me wrong. I don't have anything wrong against STUs. Sand Tires Unlimited, they're great tires. Once I tried the Rogues, I won't go back. I love that they take so much weight off the car. Why go staggered instead of normal? I have both. I have an 18 paddles straight, and we have a 20 paddle staggered. The 20 paddle staggered is those got kind of made with Cletus in mind, right? He likes to wheelie the car. He really wanted to originally was going to go back to a molded tire, but his car is stub axles in the rear. It's not a midboard car. So with a molded tire on that car, it eats wheel bearings and it eats stub axles constantly. And not just his car, most cars. And that's what we do at Glamis Fab is we fix those cars. Those 3-bolt axle, those stub bearings are like $800 now. So the idea, again, is getting all that rotational mass and that weight off the back of the car. It's easier on the bearings, on the CVs, axles, everything. So Cletus's car makes 800 horsepower, and it's 934 stub axle. So you put that combined with a molded tire, you're looking at disaster for sure. But yeah, we went staggered to give him the ability to still slide the car, but all the traction in the world that he wanted. How do my 930s hold up after a year or two? That's a great question. I did a video about my 930s. I have Gear 1 930 Super CVs in my car, and they are, I want to say, 4 or 5 years old. They were in this car. I put them in right before I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I did Rocky Mountain Race Week in this the first time. I took my San Limo because it's registered as a passenger vehicle. My car's street legal and a full-size license plate, the whole deal. And I put those 930s in there, drove them, And then I went 3.5 seasons without even checking the grease. When we tore my car down last year, the CVs looked brand new. Like there was no wear on them at all. So we cleaned them up, re-greased them, and they're in the car right now. So those CVs in that car are almost 5 years old. They're the first run of the Gear One Super CVs, which were, I'm pretty sure those were low bro CVs that they rem polished and cryo treated and race prepped. The new Gear One Super CVs, they are 100% making their own from the cages to the stars to the outer portion. The only thing they are not making are the ball bearings. But you can get those. There's just a steel ball bearing. But the new Gear One Super CVs, 100% made in-house. And one hell of a product. Who's got the fastest sand rail in Glamis? Oh, I would have to say that would be Aaron Rice, or either Aaron or his dad or one of those guys. Those cars are stupid fast. 4,000 horsepower is from what I hear. Rogue the world, hell yeah. What brand do we work on the most in Glamis? That's a great question. It's going to be Can-Am or Polaris, between one of the two. And it's not, I don't think that they're bad cars. You guys have seen my videos. You know that the metal is super thin. They do have their issues like every other car, but there's a lot of them out there. And I've had guys just bump tires before and rip arms off of a car. Is PFI Brent the nicest guy you ever met or what? Yeah, he's up there probably in the top 3. And Brent is as real as they get, dude. He's legit. He is a really good friend. And yeah, he's awesome. He's an awesome dude. Gotta give you the shirt off his back. Thinking about having shock therapy, do my shocks while I'm out there. Is it worth the investment, in my opinion? If you have a razor, then yeah, I don't think they do sand cars. Does Rogue make an equivalent to a 1450 from it? Yeah, we have an equivalent. They make a 34, they make a 33, 34, and a 35. Let's see. 3.5 J35. How much boost, if I had me turbo it and power, would it make reliably? 7 pounds, 7 to 8 pounds, maybe 9. And you want to make right in the 350 range, 350 and 370 on a stock motor, and it'll last. I know a lot of other guys out there, tuners say, oh, I've done them. They make 400, 450, and they last at it. Trust me when I say 350 to 370 is in the range where you want to be. You go anything over that, you're going to start hanging rods out the side of the block. Ask me how I know. I've got 5 J35 blocks over there that people have hung rods out of that are only that make 10, 12 pounds of boost and 450 horsepower. Do I have any funny stories about riding with Biffle and Cletus? Yeah, actually. So we were at China Wall and we were going to Duner's Diner. And so before we left the compound, Biffle has a guy that got fuel for everybody. So he took a pickup truck with fuel in it, and drove to Duner's Diner with fuel for all of us. Well, most of those guys are on E85 and I'm on pump gas. So, or race gas / pump gas. So I took 5 gallons of C16 and 5 gallons of unleaded, and I put it in the bed of the truck. We got to Duner's Diner and we were in there eating. And I was like, oh, cool. So we get done eating, we leave. There's like 20 or 30 of us there. And everyone's getting in their cars and firing them up. And I'm like, hey, where's the fuel guy? And they were like, oh, he's already gone. And I was like, oh, shit. He has all my fuel in the bed of his truck. So then I open up my gas tank and I look and I've got 3/4 of a tank still. And now, mind you, I went from the shop right to Biffles. We went from Biffles to China Wall, and then China Wall to Dooner's Diner. And I still had 3/4 of a tank of gas, or so I thought. And then we duned all the way back, took Sand Highway, doing like 800 plus miles an hour. I get back to the shop and I'm like, dude, I still have like freaking over 1/4 of a tank. My car gets great gas mileage. So I go over to Biffles to get my gas because I figured it was still on the truck. And all I had was 2 empty cans. They actually filled my car up while it was at Dooner's Diner. And Greg knew which car was mine and what fuel to put in it, thank God. So that whole time I thought my car was getting stupid gas mileage, and really it was like on empty when we got to Dooner's Diner. So that's about the funniest story I'll tell. There was a couple other good ones. I did a wheelie going past Cletus at 105 miles an hour, but it didn't make any videos. Why isn't there any sand rail clubs that go out and runs? There's a bunch of them out there. I was part of one for a while, or at the end of it, called the Covina Sand Eaters. They're all out of West Covina. A bunch of retired firefighters and police officers that I met. I joined with them a bunch of times. To tell a crazy party story after hours at the shop. Yeah, you want to know what our crazy parties are? Sleep, bro. We're there from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on our feet, just nonstop. By the time we're done for the day, we want to eat a steak, take a shower, and go to bed because we got to get up the next morning and do it all over again. What up, Josh? What up? What standalone do I recommend for J35 now? Fuel Tech. I'm actually from Huntington Beach, born and raised. And then when it was time to be an adult and get married and do all those kinds of things, I couldn't afford to live in Huntington Beach anymore. So we moved to Lake Elsinore. My wife's parents lived there. And then we ended up buying a house there. I lived in Elsinore for over 20 years, raised my daughter there, and got out while the getting was good. The prices were high. Sold my house, did really well on it, and then moved out to Arizona. And don't get me wrong, the heat sucks. It is hot as shit out here in the summertime, dude. I cannot stand it. But cost of living and everything else is what up, Hesperia? Thanks for watching the channel, bro. Appreciate you. So what a lot of people on here won't know about me, that's a great question. Being from Huntington Beach, do I listen to Slightly Stupid or the Dirty Heads? I actually know Jared from the Dirty Heads, and I've met the guys from Slightly before. I actually played in a dub band for 10, 11 years called the Speakeasies. And bands like Slightly Stupid and the Dirty Heads used to open for my band. Yeah, I know all those guys pretty well, actually. I know the guys from B Foundation. I know Opie from Long Beach Dub All Stars. Yeah, so if you catch me listening to music, it's all dub. What did I play? I was a hip hop and top 40 DJ for a lot of years. So I scratched turntables and sang. And then later on, I started picking up a guitar and playing a little bit of guitar, but never really played on stage. Did some stuff in rehearsal with my band, but we played all over Hollywood, the Roxy, the Whiskey, House of Blues, Anaheim, and Hollywood. We played all over the place. So that's a great question, man. Great question. I actually just went and saw Long Beach Dub All Stars here in Arizona 2 weeks ago. Took my wife and my daughter. Yeah, we have made two full-length albums. You can check us out on Spotify, Pandora. It's the Speakeasies. I'll type it in. You guys can check it out. I'm typing. Yep, played all over Huntington Beach, downtown, Gallagher's. Gallagher's was our home bar. We played there like 2-3 nights a week. That's that's the times where there was crazy stories about afterwards. But anyways, what else, guys? What else you got for me? Coming in slow. So some other upgrades to the Honda. I got a set of DSS 5.9s for the front, so I can put some weight in the front. Opinions. J turbo or supercharger? I like to turbo them. When you put a supercharger on top of a J35, I think it just looks stupid. It's like that friggin' tall. And then you have trouble finding a belt for it, and it's just a nightmare. Turbocharge it. Utah is getting an NHRA quarter-mile track. That's dope. That's awesome. And it ain't that far. So maybe we'll do some racing up there. How do I get into a sand car for the first time? Buy one. Go on Marketplace, find yourself a good deal, buy it, and take it out. Go have fun with it. You don't like, right? So it's all levels to me, right? So my car, brand new, if you were to try to buy this San Lamo new, it's like over 200 grand. And it's a monster cruiser with all the bells and whistles. Like, you don't have to do that. You can go and buy an $800 car and go out to the dunes and have the same fun that I'm having in this car. It's all levels, right? So, if you got an old beat up Jeep or a Suzuki Samurai and you're bombing down the fire roads at 15, 20 miles an hour, it feels like you're going a million miles an hour. The adrenaline rush and everything is the same as if you're in a badass crawler or anything else. So start out. I mean, if you want to do it for the first time, don't go spend this money and end up not liking it. Buy yourself something mediocre, like a mid-travel beam car with maybe a Honda motor in it or a Ecotec or something, and then work up from there. That's what I would do if I was getting into it for the first time. Is it worth the money to get super greasers or just go with the regular Gear 1 midboards? The super greasers are nice if you can afford it, but I just have the regular midboards on my car. I have a fully built Evo 9 image paddles on it. Oh, that's sick. I wanted to do something with my Honda because it's all-wheel drive. I was going to put paddles on it and try to go up holes in it, but Kyle from the Boosted Boys, we tried to do something with his van too when he brought it out, but I can't believe that was 5 years ago that those guys came to Glamis. That's when I first met all those guys, but we were going to do something with his van, but we couldn't get a small enough paddle to fit on it. Oh, Imagine paddles on it. Yeah, that'd be sick. What center load do I recommend for A-arm suspension with electric power steering? I just use the Gear 1 box. They make a really nice one. It's about $480 or $500, and that's what I have on my car. I think I might even have a latest Rage one on my car right now. I'm not sure. I know I have both. Yeah, they all work pretty well. Do I use a strain or a lockout? No. Unfortunately, in my class, I do have a strain gauge in the car, but it's a synchro trans, so I don't need it. I have to clutch to shift my car. And no, I don't use a lockout. Those guys, I just have a regular, I have a copy of a K-Tune shifter in my car, like a Bull Boost. It's the cheapest shifter they make. And set up, Loctite everything. It works flawlessly. I've never missed a gear. I've never missed a shift. The car shifts flawlessly. I did have the strain turned on at one time because I like how it pops coming up through the exhaust through the up pipe. I think that's really cool. But you don't with a synchro trans, you don't need a strain. And in my class, because of my turbo, I have to stay synchro and I cannot run a strain. I'm pretty sure that's it. How's my skiddy keeping it warm? Oh, yeah. Your skid loader, it's back there. Yeah, I've had the gate guy flaked on me like 4 times, and then now he just ghosted me. So I got to find someone else to redo my freaking block wall on my gate. I'm like, skiddy, what? How's your skiddy? Your skid loader. Yeah, it's still here. Be careful, I'm going to start moving cars with it. Or burying them so no one can know how many cars I have here. Oh, shit. So I think we've made some decisions. My bug has been for sale for quite a while. But it's just one of those things where if no one's going to give me what I want for it, then it can stay for sale because it doesn't eat. I don't have to feed it. And I'm not going to take it in the shorts on that car. I know what it's worth and I know what it would take to build that car. I think we might be selling the Carmen Ghia. We have a 67 Carmen Ghia that belongs to my wife. And I just think she's just not into it. It's one of those things where it's just sitting. All the body work's pretty much done on it. So we might just put the interior in it and off it. It runs and drives. It's a good car. That's going to go away. I'm contemplating selling my Chevelle. My daughter's not going to like to hear that because she wants that car, but I'm thinking about just starting over, getting rid of all my other cars besides these two and starting over with something fresh. That car I cannot get rid of. I'll never sell that car. They'll bury me in that car before it goes anywhere. I don't know. I haven't been out there in a couple of weeks. I haven't been out there since Thanksgiving, actually. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how tore up it is. I haven't been. My big break is between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then the holiday weekends just start rolling back in. So I'll be out there. What are the first 3 steps in going from a VW motor to an LS motor in a buggy built for a VW? Step 1 would be going back to about right there and cutting the whole car off and redoing the whole back of the car. Because there ain't no way it's going to support the weight and the torque of a V8. I'd have to see the car, but more than likely you're going to have to back half the car. Your cousin went and said it was beat to shit. Yes, the bodywork is done thanks to Kirsty. How often do I have to re-up common parts? What do you mean? Elaborate on that a little bit. On this car or that car or buggies or what? Back half my VW car to swap at LS when I got stuck on patent. Never again. Customer vehicles. How often do I have to re-up common parts? I still don't know what you mean by that, bud. I mean, how often do we maintenance customer cars? How much wood? A lot of wood. A lot of wood. Hey, let me ask Alexa or Siri. Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri.
Uh-huh.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
None. A woodchuck is actually a groundhog, so it would probably just predict 6 more weeks of winter.
Did that answer your question? No, there's a couple other companies that brother built. What up? Miss you too, brother. I wish they would have told us that there was a Friendsgiving at PFI last week or yesterday. We would have flown out for that for sure. Let's see what else. Gear One, no, there's other companies that sell CV savers. How often do you stock like axles, spindles, etc.? The spindles and stuff, people break them, but axles, we just every year service the car, change the grease, check the splines, etc., etc. Yeah, we will definitely get out there and enjoy the dunes. How fast is my Honda in the 8th mile? 5 something. I think I went 550, 530. I'd have to look at an old slip. It runs in the fives. Car's gone at best at 920, 921 at 100 and whatever, but it's definitely got 8-second potential. That car will run an 8-second pass weighing what it weighs and still be streetable. Yeah, definitely, dude. Add us in. Yeah, we totally would have flown out for that. That would have been awesome. Yeah, we don't have to come to Colorado just to do Honda stuff, dude. We'll come hang for sure. Mosquitoes. Love your content. Seeing you in jokes. Awesome. Thank you for watching, man. We appreciate it. That car weighs 2470 with me in it. Does Brent tune my Honda? Yes. Yes and no. Yes. Jamie tunes my car. He's my tuner, but Brent is always there, giving him advice. But they're kind of a tuning team, Brent and Jamie. So in essence, yes. Brent helps me work on my car. He's helped me with tons of stuff. So in essence, yes, Brent does tune my car, but so does Jamie. My boys. So, like I said, the car weighs 2470 or something with me in it. And if we could have got the boost to climb over 30 pounds, it would have ran at 8. It went 920. We were super close to getting an 8-second pass out of it. I think here in Arizona, it'll make all the boost. I'm going to head to Colorado next week. Get that thing back on the dyno with the new motor that's in it. It should only take a couple of pulls. We made a few changes and locked the VTEC and did a few other, put my smaller cams back in it. That motor has a ported head and a good valve job. And so that it's 84 mil. That motor should make some steam. That's for sure. Yes, I would sell that VW car unless you're in love with it. Yeah, sell that VW car unless you're in love with the car because it's a lot of work to go from VW to V8. You could go from VW to V6, do a Honda V6. That's pretty common swap. The engine's a lot lighter. It's all aluminum, and I think it's about half the weight of an LS. What clutch do I run in the sand car? Monster clutches, because I'm not running a VW style clutch in that car. I have a LS bell housing, so I run a full size LS clutch in there. It's a twin disc from Monster Clutches. Shout out to Monster Clutches for hooking me up, Fat. Appreciate you guys. How am I doing? I'm doing good. How are you? Let's see here. What Holley systems to get to upgrade on my Ella from Mephi? Just to get a Terminator X. That's what I run in this car. I run it in my Chevelle. All of our customers, I turn them all onto Terminator, Holley and Switch Pros. It's a really, really versatile system for low dollar. I think the last time I checked, a Terminator X with the harness and the 3.5-inch screen is like $1,000 all in. And if you get it from Summit or Jegs, I think if you add a couple stickers or something, if you spend over $1,100, you get 20% off or some deal like that. So, just a Mephi harness is $900 without the ECU. And then what sucks about a Mephi is all the tunes are locked. Hardly anybody has the software. You got to go to CBM or somebody else. And once they tune it, they lock it, and you can't make any changes. So with a Holly, you can make changes right on the screen yourself. You want to see me in one of Cleet's races at the factory? Yeah, you and me both, brother. You and me both. I would love to do it. I was going to do the Ultima race this year, just back in May, I think, whenever it was. It just came up too fast, and I couldn't make it. Brent and I and Steven have been talking about doing the next Ultima race. I have an Ultima ready to go. And we're going to do something called the Ultimate Ultima, to where I'm going to drive from here to Colorado in the Ultima, and then they're going to bring their Ultima, and we're going to drive from Colorado to Florida, and whatever shenanigans ensue on the way there, we'll film it all. And then we'll do the Ultima race, trash the shit out of them, and then get on a plane and fly home. So I think it's a great idea. I would love to do one of Cletus's big races. I think, unfortunately, I don't. I just don't think that I have enough subscribers, to make a difference for him. And that's fine. I get his model. I understand what he does. He has his events with other big influencers and celebrities, and it brings more people to watch his channel. Unfortunately, all of my subscribers, most of them probably already watch his channel. So it's nothing personal on him. Cleet's a great guy. I consider him a friend. I actually just texted him a little while ago. I talked to him, and it's business. That it's all cool for content creation and stuff, but that's a business for him, and I understand it. But again, when I do go to Florida, they treat me with the utmost respect. I get a back. Hold on a second. Where are they at? Right here. So when I do go, I get these. So when I go to Lamullis race, so it's me and my wife that go, and we get to go backstage and have lunch with Travis Pastrana and Jeremy McGrath and all the other influencers and people that are back there. We know half those guys anyway, but yeah, he treats me well. So that's really cool. And, Jamie and Brent are always there. We didn't get to go this year. Timing just wasn't right for us. I couldn't make it, but again, he definitely treats us well when we go. He's a good dude. How much horsepower in my sand car? It's a 12.5-to-1, 440 cubic inch LSX, made 580 on pump gas, should make close to 700 on E85. Aldred's production car is probably a good first. Yeah, definitely. That's a beam car with a Honda V6. I think Benny over at Benco is giving him a transmission, so he will be back out in the dunes. He's getting his car back together, which is cool as hell, dude. He's a great dude, and we might have some collaboration stuff coming up with Aldred and a couple other the creators out there in Glamis. We're gonna do I think we're gonna do some sort of creator challenge out there. So I was actually talking to the guys from Rogue and stuff about that today. So that should be pretty cool. We're going to do something out there. What clutch would I use if I had a 35 to an all-Weddell 091? Probably just a stage 2 or stage 3. Stuck, sprung. I am growing. Yes, I'm stoked for the subscribers that I do have, and I'm super, super happy that it's all organic and it's just happening. So yeah, that's what I'd run clutch. You can call Kennedy Engineering, and you can tell them how much torque your car is going to make and horsepower, and they'll set you up right. If I already answered this, am I racing Chaybell and AZ anytime soon? Yes, that's what I'm actually getting her ready for. Streetcar Takeover is in January, and I'll be racing at Streetcar Takeover. I think it's in January, February. I gotta check the date, but yeah. I put those big cams in it and was retuning the car because I was going to bring it home and race IFO in Vegas. And unfortunately, we had that little mishap on the dyno. But I wish I don't have it. Oh, hold on. I got some parts I can show you guys. Hang on. Be right back. So if you want to know what kind of damage ensued, here's number 1 and number 4 pistons. What's left of them? It was valve-to-valve contact, and it snapped off all 4 valves. Manley Turbo Toughs are still good, though, so we're going to reuse those in another build. Yeah. Ouchie. The valves hit each other, and then once they snapped, that was all she wrote. But, dude, huge props to fucking Jamie behind the wheel of my car on the dyno. He felt the car start to nose over, so he killed the ignition. He killed it and hit the dyno brake immediately. Like, I think that saved a lot of shit from going through my turbo and, getting up in there. I mean, I've seen guys destroy. I mean, the turbo on my car was like $4,000. So adding insult to injury would be blowing up a motor and then destroying a $4,000 turbo as well. That would really suck. But he did get it shut off in time, like as soon as he could. I'm telling you, that guy has a feel for when something's not right. He just shut it off that quick. And again, huge shout out to my boy Jamie, dude. He's freaking awesome. But yeah, I'll be giving out some broken engine parts to random subscribers if you guys jump on the website and buy yourself some merch. Oh, don't forget, 20% off anything from now until December 25th, till Christmas Day, on the website, theduneaddict.com. Grab yourself a hat. Camo's back in stock. And grab a t-shirt. Which one is this? Oh, this is Bobby Boucher. It's Dave Unknown's shirt for his car, but Moon Tune, yeah. No, we're closed. We're closed until the day after Christmas, I believe. That's usually the day we reopen. And we'll be there pretty much every day from Christmas until after New Year's. Somebody will be there, whether it's Joe, me, Wedo. The shop will be open every day. Dave will be out there. We'll all be there. Yeah, don't break anything because we won't be there. Some of the other vendors will be there. Gilmore's will be out there. I don't know. I don't know how. I've actually never even been over to Gilmore's. I don't know what kind of inventory they have or what they sell. I know they got fuel pumps and stuff like that, but how big is my backyard shop? This is 30 by 30. It's 900 square feet. Dude, I am totally happy with the size. Everybody says, oh, you should have went bigger. You should have went bigger. The problem is the bigger shop you build, the more crap you accumulate. I had so much crap accumulated already that I couldn't even drywall my walls before I had to start putting stuff in here and start working out of my shop. I was, when I first moved to Arizona, we had some legal issues with this house that we bought. The owners refused to sell it to me basically 9 days before we closed escrow. They tried to back out of the deal. And I ended up having to get a lawyer. And I'm in East Mesa. I ended up having an attorney. And anyways, it's a long story. I'll get into that some other time because it's pretty crazy. But I had to live in an apartment for 3 months when I first moved here. So I have some friends that live out here, and I was going to bring my toy hauler to their house because I had already transferred here with my job. And am I thirsty? Yes. I'd already transferred here, so I was going to stay in my toy hauler at my buddy's house, Barry, and my daughter and wife were going to go up to Payson, which is like 45 minutes from here, where my mom and sister lived, and my brother, and they were going to stay up there until escrow closed, just like 9 days. And we were on our way out here with the U-Haul, and it hit the fan. So I had to live in an apartment for 3 months. All my cars were here. Everything was here. It was all being stored at my buddy's place. I was getting that thing ready to go on race week for the first time. I hadn't driven that car in almost 15 years. So I was working out of my buddy's shop. So it was kind of a scramble once I got my shop built to get everything in here and start working out of my own place. It's not having my own place to work in. It was really bad. It just made me uncomfortable. And don't get me wrong, I love that my buddy let me use his shop, and he gave me a key to the place. I could go in and out as I wanted to, and I definitely appreciate that. It was just like a personal thing with me. I was just uncomfortable there, just because it wasn't my space. Oh, nice. You're in Awatuki. More travel. Flash is not fun. Heck yeah. What part of Arizona? East Mesa. I answered that. Yeah, definitely don't break anything because we won't be there. I know there's a guy welding stuff down on Gecko, but like those rescue guys out there, how do I say this? I don't want to talk crap about any of the other vendors out there in Glamis at all, because eventually one day we're all going to need each other for one thing or another. But those guys, I don't think any of them are buggy builders. They're not sandrail manufacturers. And that's what we have above everybody else that's out there, is that Joe builds San Limo. He owns San Limo. Like he builds cars for a living. He refabs cars for a living. So he's seen it all. So when cars come out there broken, he knows how to fix them to get them through, or knows how to fix them right. One or the other. There's two ways we do things at Glamis. Sometimes it's just angle iron and a quick weld, and off you go, and bring it to us in the off season, and we'll get you fixed up right. Oh, thanks, brother. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you. So the other welder guys out there, they're fabricators, but I don't think they're buggy builders. We don't, when we fix your car out there, we don't fix it so you can get it in the trailer. We fix it so you can go out and still have fun and enjoy your week or weekend or whatever. So I think that's the difference between us and a lot of other guys out there. What is my opinion on the best two-seat mid-engine car on the market if money was no object? Whoo. You would have to convince Joe to build a mid-engine car. He doesn't like it. I'm super biased on San Limos, and it's not just because I own one. We work on a lot of cars. I've driven pretty much every car on the market, and I like the way my car handles the best. It's just my preference. But if you're going to buy a mid-engine car, it's already mid-engine, I would have to say a Lumacraft. A Lumacraft makes a really, really nice car. And if there was no budget, because the Lumacraft is a very expensive car, mid-engine, they probably build the best car. In my opinion. But I'd rather have a San Limo. Joe doesn't. I think Joe's only built like 3 mid-engine cars in his life. He doesn't like it, but is what it is. Let's see here. What else? I saw Cletus's video. He's going to be selling a bunch of stuff. Jesus, you scared the bejesus out of me. I will not sleep if I drink that.
It's not very much tea.
Okay, good. My wife's trying to give me iced tea at night. Thank you.
Take the other one.
Let's see. I saw Cletus's video. He's going to be selling a bunch of stuff. Did I see anything I might be interested in? I did what? It scared me. Shit. What scared me? My wife brought me a drink. She came busting the door. It scared the shit out of me. So, yeah, I will elaborate. Let me get back to that real quick. Where was I at? Oh, anything I wanted on Cletus's sale. I saw a couple things in the video, but there's nothing there that I want bad enough to fly to Florida to pay $100 to go bid on stuff. I get why he's charging $100 to keep the fans away and keep people that really want to buy stuff. But I would imagine if there's anything that I saw that I wanted, I could probably shoot him a text message and ask him how much he wants for it and buy it. I don't know if he's going to do that or not. But if he was selling parts, like I know they did like a yard sale or like a garage sale type thing. If he was selling a bunch of engine parts and cylinder heads and stuff like that, I'd definitely go. You live right down the road from me. I need an exhaust built for my mid-engine VW turbo sand car. I would take that to Joe. He is a turbo manifold guru when it comes to Volkswagen stuff. Scott, you have an awesome guy for Block and Gates. Good. Give me his number. I need a guy because my guy just ghosted me. Came to my house, gave me a quote. I said, let's do it. He didn't show up on the day he was supposed to be here. He had some car trouble. Said he would be here Friday, and I haven't heard from him since. Can I elaborate on the difference between mid-engine versus rear engine? Yeah, definitely. Obviously, in a mid-engine car, you can't have a four-seater. I guess you could. I don't think I've ever seen a mid-engine four-seater. Maybe I have once. I'm not sure. But it's going to put the engine right here in this area, right in front of the wheels versus it being – let me turn this so you guys can see a little better. So a mid-engine car is going to put that engine way up there. So it's going to transfer all that weight off the back of the car up in the front of the tires, not behind the tires. So I think it just helps keep the car planted. I'm not really I'm trying to think if there's any mid-engine cars I've driven. Oh, I have. I drove a SU mid-engine car with a turbo Nissan motor in it. They're doing really good. They stay planted. They don't ever feel like the tires are going to come out. If you can wheelie a mid-engine car, that thing's probably making some steam. But as for elaborating any more than that, I don't know a whole lot about mid-engine cars because I've only driven one. I know they dune well from some other people. My buddy Brian's got an LS mid-engine car, and that car wheelies, but it's twin turbo. It makes a lot of power. I think it makes 12 or 1300. Makes more power than that chassis should be. But yeah, that's the difference. Moves the motor up there, puts all that weight further up front, keeps the car planted in the sand a little better. Razzle dazzle. I forgot Razzle is mid-engine. Wow. I didn't even think about that. Razzle's actually in Colorado right now. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Sand Scorpion. That you put an LS1 in. That's probably fast. Heck yeah. What up, Rafa? Yeah, she's right there. 84 millimeter LS VTEC. I was just showing, I put some webcams in my car at PFI last month, and so lost the whole motor. Everything's trash except for the crank and the rods. So I had an 84 millimeter motor that we went through, put new pistons, and put Crowler steel rods in it, Crowler Pro billets, and hopefully make 1,000. Yeah, that was not good. Oh, that's cool, man. I'm glad you switched to a switch panel and adding a Holley 7-inch. That's rad. Yeah, if I could push everybody onto that, I would, dude. It's having a push button switch panel, whether it's be Switch Pros or anything else, gonna fly. I hope so, man. I'm gonna race Streetcar Takeover here in Arizona, so hopefully get that 8-second pass, man. I'm hoping. So I just did DSS 5.9s, so we can put some weight on the front now and really give it more out of the hole. I mean, it's already fast out of the hole, but yeah, she's going to be fast. Yeah, we're right there, dude. I'm right there. I saw they just came out with a B series sequential, man. Woo! It's very tempting. I know one of you guys will end up with a sequential. I know it. I can feel it. Yeah, I talk everybody I can into the Holley Dash and the Switch Pros or a Switch panel. No way. I know. That's as much as our whole engine. I know. Man, I got lucky that I had this motor. It came in that I bought an Integra, and this motor was already in it, but it had Eagle rods and some CPs in it, and we put some Trom Outlaws in it, and I had a set of LS rods that were Crowler Pro billets. So I'm lucky I just had those parts laying around. Tom was here, and he helped me put a motor together. So I got it back in the car over the weekend. So I'll be back up in Colorado in the next week or two, tune it, and then bring it home. How would I rate St. Anthony compared to Glamis? Well, if I had ever been to St. Anthony, I could compare it, but I have not. I saw the Integra. Did someone local get it? No, it's still here. It's still for sale. Aaron, what up, dude? No, it's still for sale, Rafa. If you guys need something, hit me up privately and we'll talk. Let's see here. Yeah, I'd love to go to St. Anthony. Originally, my car was scheduled to be done at the end of last season. So then I was going to go do a dune trip and travel, go to St. Anthony and Pink Coral and all the other sand dunes. I was going to take a month off and just go duning and film a bunch of content, but we got behind on my car. So it'll be done this year. So in the off season, I'm going to try to head off to some other dunes and try them out. And that'll leave me with a bunch of good off-season content for duning, because my content seems to fall off outside of the dune season, because I drag race and do other stuff. But it is what it is. I don't create this content because I'm trying to get rich or be some famous YouTuber. I just do it because it's fun. I like to document the stuff I do. And when I'm long gone, my grandkids or great grandkids, if YouTube's still around, can go on and watch me. So I think that's pretty cool. $37. How long have we been on? Hour 25. All right, I'm going to go a little while longer if you guys are going to hang out. What other questions you got? Yeah, for Streetcar Takeover, it should be a big turnout. Next opinion, King ADS or Fox? King. I got to support the people who support me. No, Glamis Fab is closed until after Christmas. We are done. The guys at King Shocks take care of us so well. They make a great product. They always come in clutch with anything that we need. They keep us stocked in freaking merch and just everything. Mike's such a good dude. He is, him and Joe are really good friends. They go hunting together and stuff, and they're always there when we need them. So I'm a King guy through and through. Not to say that any of the other shock companies are any different. They all work good. I've worked on tons of cars with Foxes, but I'm a King guy. I'm YouTubing my build. It's fun. It doesn't make a ton of money for me. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, nice. Is anyone going to take my fastest Honda title there? I don't think so. There's only one guy that's anywhere near me, I think, and he's got an EK, but I think his car weighs like 1,600 pounds. It's a full drag car, and I think he's only gone 9.2, the same as me. So I don't think so. He's B series all-wheel drive, but he's a big. He does a lot of no prep stuff on the street. So we'll see. He just put a dog box in his car. So if I can still go faster than him with my synchros, then we're good. Yes, 091 will hold a J35. No problem. Who would I suggest to powder coat a sander car frame? Let's see. You could use Matador. They're out here. They're pretty good. I used, oh God. The guy's going to kill me for not remembering his name right now. Oh my God. Section 8 powder coating. I'm sorry, guys. I had a brain fart there. Section 8 powder coating. Lou over there did a great job on my car. So Section 8, you could use them or Matador. What's going to be the changes for our class next year? I was talking with Jamie about it, and Brent as well, and there is some talk about them getting rid of our class altogether and making it a 9.0 index class, which I was a little bit on the fence about. But let's just say Javi doesn't show up with his all-wheel drive car, and the big boys don't show up in the pro class. So that leaves somebody like me or you an opportunity to race the pro class and maybe do well. Or let's say we didn't qualify very well, so let's turn it down and run 9.0, and maybe we can win 9.0. What up? So it goes back and forth, for doing that. But I really love the heads up racing in sport. It's kind of a good class. I really like it. So. I've ever seen a brand new Sachs throwout bearing bad out of the box. Yes, I have. Getting some squealing when the clutch pedal is in. Throwout bearing, pilot bearing new. Car shift perfect. Yes, I have had them bad out of the box. 100%. That is a thing. So yeah, as for a sport class, I don't know. I also was trying to convince them to maybe make some rule changes for our class. Yeah, our class is getting super competitive, but it's based on sport front wheel drive cars. And a real sport front wheel drive car had to have a gas tank in it. So why not? Well, my car doesn't have a gas tank, but I have a 15-gallon fuel cell in the back. So, the sport front cars had a stock tank and you would put the sump in the back. Why not make it to where you have to have a stock gas tank in the car? You have to have the ability to put at least the stock amount of gas, because the sport front wheel drive class was based on cars that were street cars, just had big motors in them. That's why we have to have door panels, windows. I think your crank up windows should have to work. That's my opinion. You should be able to roll your windows down and say hello. Some of the guys in our class don't have roll up windows. They're just pinned. So, those are my opinions on the class. Some people may differ. It's all good. I won't change my car to streamline the rules of the class. My car is what it is. It's a street car, 100% street car. Street registered, legal. You know my car, Rafa. I'll go drive it 1,000 miles right now, and it'll make it. So I don't know. That's just my opinion of the class. But I'm a old NHRA sport compact guy. So all of my friends had sport front wheel drive classes. So those were real street cars. They drove them on the street. But oh, I can drive that car. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. There's a reason why it's got a license plate and insurance on it, because it does get driven. On a busy weekend, what does it cost to have you guys get us back in the dunes? I always wondered, 1, 2, 3 times the normal cost. No, our labor rates are pretty much what they are. We don't really have a set rate for working on cars. We kind of bill it off the job and how long it takes us to do it. We have a set price. We have some set prices for welding. Like for a small weld on a crack in a frame this big, it's $40. And then it goes up from there. If you got a crack on this side and a crack on that side, $40 here, $40 there. Where you're gonna pay is the cost of the parts. And with the influx of Amazon, everybody thinks that we're Amazon there, and they see a CV joint, or let's go with a Gear 1 axle. A Gear 1 300M axle is $700. Okay, and that's just for one. But I think for $800, you can buy 2 from Gear 1. But you're going to wait a month to get it, and we have it in stock, and it will fit your car because we have the splines cut extra long, and we cut your axle down and custom fit it to your car while we're there. You're not going to get that anywhere else. And then we have probably $1 million in inventory in that shop. And during the off season, that inventory sits at the shop when we're closed. So, your money that you've invested into all those parts is not making you any money in the off season. So that's another reason why the prices are so high. The rent on the shop is high. We don't have commercial power there. We're on a generator. So the fuel bill for the store, I think the last time I checked was close to 20 or 30, 25 or $30,000 a month in fuel. Because there's no commercial power anywhere there. It's all generator. So that's what you're going to pay for. That's why the prices, that's why when you go into the store and you get an ice cream bar, it's $5 or $7. Well, because the generator that runs that freezer costs 30 grand a month to run. So you got to recoup your money somehow, or none of us would be there. So it is, parts wise, it's probably double the actual cost that you would pay at home. But we're there, we're in the desert, we have it in stock. And do you want to go home or do you want to keep doing? And that decision is up to you, because customers, they complain about the pricing a lot, but they can always say no and go home, but they don't. Start it. Start my Honda. I can't start it right now. It's I just put the motor in it and I'm not quite done buttoning everything up. Start it. Better than my 11.5-second race car that never touches the street. Oh, by the way, hi. Well worth it. I think it's well worth it. It's what up, man? What up? Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, whenever you want, give me till next week. I just put a motor in the car yesterday. I mean, I can't drive it right this second, but yes, this car does get driven for sure. I got to finish, and I got to axle apart and some other issues, but. Well, let's put it this way, guys. Unlike a lot of the cars that I race against and everywhere, that car is streetable. It's comfortable to sit in. It drives good. It's not just a drag car. Rufus, what up? And a lot of the guys, I wouldn't even want to try to drive one of these cars with a weight plate on it on the street. And then a lot of the guys I race with, the front wheel drive cars, their weight bias is like 75 to 80% of the whole car's weight is in front of the tires up here. Like Jamie's car, he's got a pro front wheel drive, or a pro car. I forget what class he races, X front wheel drive. 80% of the car's weight is in front of the tires. So when he stops, it's crazy. Or you'll see guys 1-2-1 it. There's some videos out there, a guy going 1-2 and then sticking it back in first gear on accident, and the whole car comes up off the ground because there's so much weight in front of the tires. But that's what it takes to get a front wheel drive car to hook up. All right, let's see here. Recently got a Nissan car that has an LS with an S4D and 934s. How often do I need to service the CVs? What kind of power does it make, and how do you drive? S4, 934s, and an LS deal that doesn't make 1,000 horsepower. Every season, I would just take them apart, inspect them, and re-grease them. Do it in the off season. Oh, no. You don't have to do it that often, bud. Once a year. 500 horsepower and aggressive, I'd service them probably every season. And then what you can do, let me show you. When your grease starts to wear down, if you guys can see this, just grab your CV and shake it, move it in and out. When the grease starts to break down, the CV is going to get really loud and it's going to go clack, 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 clack. So when you hear that clacking sound, the grease is probably broken down and it's time to change it. Let's see what else. Can you register your California Evo 9 at my house in Arizona? No, you may not. Oh, well, yeah, you can. You're still going to have to smog it. My where I live is still smog. Where my family lives is not. They live up in the mountains here in Arizona. And crazy thing is, in California or in Arizona, all the smog emission stuff is controlled by the state. It's actually a state-run facility. It's not like in California where you can just go to a random smog check station. They don't have that here. It's all state-run. But it is. Is there dynos here? Yeah, there is dyno here. But like for my work van, my Mercedes Sprinter that I had, they just stick a thing in the pipe and have me rev it and do like a smoke check. All right, got about 20 minutes left, guys, and then I got a jam. What else you got for me? Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. It's new, but it's not new. It's I've owned that car for 13 years. That's like a 2001 San Limo Monster Cruiser. Yeah, it was a lot of fun doing the rebuild on that car, believe it or not. How much suspension travel? I think the car is set up for, I want to say 18 or 19 in the front, 21 in the rear, something like that. I think it's 18 and 21 or vice versa, 21 and 18 or 21, 22 and 16 or 18 in the front. I don't remember. I'd have to ask Joe. And it was only $17 for a smog check. Yeah, that's right. It was cheap. Can I explain the importance of CV axle travel and angle? Yeah, definitely. So the best, how do I break this down? Rafa. All right, brother. Catch you later, buddy. Right on, man. So the best angle for an axle is as straight as possible, right? I'm going to use my arm as an example. And you want just a little kick. So when Joe sets these cars up, you don't want to go over, and I might be wrong, but I think it's 21 degrees. I don't have an angle finder with me right now, but I think 21 degrees is the sweet spot where you want your at ride height. I hope I'm not getting that wrong. I think it's 21 degrees, 20 or 21. That's the angle that you want, and that's where you're going to get the most out of the CV. The reason that's important is because if you have too much angle on the CV and your car suspension overworks the CV angle, it's going to bind and it's going to break. It's also going to wear on the CVs more, and you're going to have a lot of issues. San Limos are set up, and I know there's other cars that are set up that way as well, but for optimum axle angle and the less wear on the CV. Max is 22 degrees up or down. No, I think resting max is 22 degrees. You can go further than that for sure. Especially if you've got a wide car, you're going to go over 22 degrees. I think resting max is 22. Heck yeah, dude. That'll be awesome. I could be wrong. I know Joe has a jig and an angle finder and levels, and he does so much work to set up the geometry. And that's something else about these cars, guys. When Joe builds a new San Limo, he does not set up the rear tabs for the suspension in the jig. That is all done after it is built and it's out of the jig and the car is on jack stands and it's completely level. And then he welds on the tabs for the rear arms. He has a jig that he sets up to angle. I mean, I don't want to get into the proprietary way he does it, but I know a lot of the cars out there that are made, those rear tabs for the rear arms are made in a jig, and yeah, he builds 2-seat San Lemos. It's done. Every car is hand built. I mean, the suspension is set up, the angle, even the front suspension, caster camber. It's all done, outside of a jig. Joe build. Now you set your limits at 21 degrees. I wish I had my angle finder here. I don't know where it's at. I would check, but yeah. Does Joe build 2-seat San Lemos? Yes. He makes a San Lemo Squirt, which is a 2-seat car. Yeah, he'll build you a 2-seater, no problem. What I'd really like to see someone build is a 2-seat version of this, a 2-seat Monster Cruiser. That thing would be sick. We did one last year. Someone had a 2-seat Cruiser, and we did a monster conversion on it. LS 2D, badass freaking car. But you get the same suspension travel as this car, but in a 2-seater. Friggin' rad. Uh, 40 people in here. What else? What else you guys got? You eat, guys. What's in the cup? This is lemonade and iced tea. Not a big drinker. I enjoy some twisted teas every now and then, Coors Light, but hill races are won and lost in the whoops. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Arnold Palmer, yeah. Ooh. Again, guys, don't forget, from now until December 25th, everything on theduneaddict.com is 20% off. Have an SU ultralight with 5-link. Subaru in box. Want to do it nope. I recommend you sell the car. Sell the car and buy a bigger chassis. I have built, worked on a lot of SU ultralights, and you talk to Don over at SU and see what he tells you. He's going to tell you the same thing. He's going to tell you to sell that car and buy something bigger. I think an LS would twist that chassis apart. Unfortunately. Sorry, man. Those cars, those ultralights, they're built around small power plants. So they don't have a lot of the chassis strength that an LS car does. Off-road jamboree, California to Tennessee. RS1 with paddles. Oh, that'd be sick. Your car has a Gen 1 S4D, second to third, and the car went to fourth, shifted back to third, and took off. What could be the problem? Shift mechanism. So the only I can show you. Hold on. Here we go. So I don't know if some of you guys know this or not, but I did the transmission in Cletus's car a while back. So what we have here is some parts. So this is called the dog ring, right? So on these earlier, on your Gen 1 S4D, this dog ring comes off. So this is how they converted it from a synchrotrans to a dog box or a sequential, is by adding this dog ring. What happens is these dog rings fail. The newer updated Gen 2 gears is this gear and this dog ring. I can get it to go back on there. It's all one piece instead of two pieces. So your shift slider probably got stuck, which is this bad rider right here. And the dog ring engaged for fourth, and then the slider was actually in third, so it jumped back to third gear. If it does it again or continually does it, I would suggest you upgrading the shift selector. This is an old style one, and upgrading to dog gears. And if you guys buy anything on Duneaddict.com, I'll throw in some random pieces of Cletus's transmission. Just put the word Cletus in your notes. If you buy something on the website, I'll throw some Cletus trans parts in your order. All right, Duneaddict was here or something. So I would definitely, if it continues happening, do the Gen 2 upgrades. And who's been doing a lot of those lately is Ronald Williams. You can follow him on Facebook. He's a really good trans guy. I use Bill at Arizona Transactional Exchange. He's good as well, but that's totally up to you. I'm an Arizona Transactional Exchange guy, but I think they all pretty much get the same job done. Appreciate the knowledge. Right on. Thank you. So again, guys, I jump in and I try to do some of these lives because I get I've had 11 text messages since I started this live from people with questions and stuff. I do these once in a while, and just to kind of say, hey, if I don't respond to you guys, I'm not flaking. I'm just super duper busy. If it's a random question like something, there's a shop in Southern California that works on Honda V6 sand cars, and the owner of that shop texts me, I don't know, 5, 6 times a month, 7 times a month, 8 times a month, every time he's working on a sand car that's got a Honda V6 in it. Well, he's asking me for my advice on what's wrong with a car that he's charging a customer for. And I try to be as helpful as I can, but sometimes I just have to ignore those people because I just don't have the time for it. I don't have the bandwidth. I've got my own shit going on and my other customers' cars that I'm dealing with. I make wire harnesses. I've got a million things going on. What up, David? What's happening, man? Knowledge is power. Sometimes it is, yeah. Yeah, I got a random dude fucking hit me up on Facebook about a Honda V6 computer and was like asking me how to modify it for standalone use. And I'm like, bro, that's just not information that I just give away. It took me a long time. So a lot of you guys might not know this, but I've been a Honda guy since Hondas were, they've never been really cool, but I was into the whole Southern California drag race scene. What up, Carver? When it started, so I had a Honda shop, and figuring out how to convert these ECUs and stuff for standalone use is not just general knowledge that's out there, because if I teach you how to use a Honda ECU for standalone use, it's also teaching you how to steal the car, because we're bypassing the immobilizer and the key and all kinds of stuff. So random people are asking me for this information, and I'm like, dude, I don't. Oh, I was way pre Fast and Furious, dude. Love Arizona Transaxle. Casey's the best. Casey's awesome. Bill is awesome. I love those guys over there. I was shooting some content when they rebuilt Cletus's transmission for me, and Bill wouldn't look at the camera, and Casey freaking darted out of the way. He didn't want to be on camera, but those guys are awesome. I love them. Do I need another Civic in my collection? Depends on what it is. Send me a PM. My wife's gonna fucking kill me. Yeah, we were the Fast and Furious before it was a movie, and actually know a whole bunch of people that are in that movie. Our friend Greg Leone was in that movie. A bunch of our friends were like in the background and stuff. Know a bunch of people that were in that. No, Sherry says no. It's my car. You know what it is. Oh. No, I don't need another car in my collection. Thank you. I have trouble keeping that one running. So, yeah, I have that. I have another EG on the side that's Brianna's. Yeah, I got no. Sorry, Chris. I can't buy your car. Oh, Sherry will be fine. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Good luck with that one, buddy. All right, a few more minutes, guys. What else you got for me? So like I was saying, I try to jump on and do these because I hate ignoring people, but like the guys are just hitting me up, asking me how to do this. It took me a long time to figure out how to papers. Took me a long time to figure out how to modify this stuff, and I didn't have help from anybody. Like I figured all this stuff out on my own. I bought manuals and books and read them. Just countless hours in books. When K-Series engines came out, no one knew how to wire them into Civics. So somewhere back there, I have the factory service manual. It's like this thick, and I read it cover to cover. I knew everything there was to know about the wiring in a fucking RSX. And I made the harness work in a Civic. I think I was the first person to ever do it. So I know a lot about ECUs and how they work and stuff. So that's the kind of information that I don't just give away to anybody. But I get people asking me for it all the time, and I'm like, I just sucks because I got to tell them no. And the few people that I have given that information to, they just take that information and then they start making ECUs and trying to sell them. So it's that's the nature of the business, but it is what it is. Another note, what's up with you talking about moving states a while ago? Whatever happened to that? Well, my company that I work for is going through a change. The tower division sold off the fiber division and the small cell division, and I work for the small cell division. So they're starting some sort of hedge fund bought us. They're starting a stand-up company, and if things aren't the way I like them when I go over there, then I'll have some decisions to make. I'm going to sign a retention contract in March, which is I'll have to stay for 1 year. We think we all are going to have to sign it. We'll get a big bonus for staying on for that year, but that only guarantees my salary at my rate that I make now for 1 year. And after that, they can lower it or get rid of me or whatever. So in the next 12 months, I'm going to know a lot more about that. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Arizona is definitely not my forever home. My wife needs to get near the water, and that's going to be one of my priorities, getting her close to water. So whether it be Florida, back to Southern California, somewhere near the ocean. So you just Googled San Limo and it says permanently closed. That's weird, but yeah, San Limo is the old shop in Tempe is permanently closed. What you're going to want to look up is San Limo by Joe Fab or Glamis Fab. You should be able to find it. If you're looking for a phone number, hang on. Let me Google it real quick. Let me see what comes up. Oh, yeah. So that's the old shop in Apache Junction. Hang on. Let me look up something else here. Oh, let's see what ChatGPT says about us. This is pretty cool. Glamis Fab is a popular high-demand mobile fabrication and repair shop located in the Imperial Sand Dunes in Southern California. Famous for fixing off-road vehicles like sand rails, UTVs, and buggies during peak seasons and essentially serving as the emergency room for broken dune toys with services including welding, axle suspension, repair, and custom builds, often seen in viral videos. That's pretty dope. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So the phone number is 602-617-1104, I believe. Let me look real quick. If you're looking for a phone number to call Joe, if you want some work done. Sorry, I'm missing your questions. Hang on. Yeah, so it's 602-617-1194. 9 to 5, or 7 to 3:30. Boom, 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 boom. So that's where we're at. That yeah. Easier to ask for forgiveness and permission. Yeah. Take it easy, Dave. Later, buddy. Salute from Kentucky. Right on, brother. Bell Systems. Hell yeah. Fab School 1. So, yep, that's kind of where we're at with moving out of state. I got a year to go, and we'll see what happens after that. I like Arizona. It's just it's not for me. It's too hot. Another text message. All right. Parachutes on that hot rod behind me. Yes. Yep. Must have. I got kicked out of my local track for not having it. So they were not happy with me when I went I think I went 960. I went 960 or something here at the local track, and they said, don't come back without your NHRA license and a parachute. So I put a parachute on the car and I got my NHRA license. Yeah, the car's fast. It's gone. The fastest pass is 921. And it'll definitely run an 8-second pass when we turn it up. We'll get there. Yep, 967 is when they kicked me out. Safety is important, but it's got an 850 sturted cage in it. And there was plenty of run out for me to stop there. The shutdown at the track in Arizona is like half a mile. So I didn't really need a parachute. And I do love pulling it, though. It's freaking awesome. I hate packing it, but I love pulling it. Boom, the way it hits when it goes out. It's pretty cool. What up, man? What up? So a few more minutes here, guys. A couple more questions, and I'm going to get to it. I've been on for 2 hours already. Holy crap. Time flies. Did I get my car figured out? As you know, we just lost a good friend. Who did we lose? Destic. Did I get my car figured out? Which one? Yes, both cars were figured out. Ooh. Sand car. Yeah, it's all figured out. I had some stuck injectors. No big deal. Bought an injector machine, got them cleaned up, put them back in. We're all good. All good. So I got to get a bigger set so when it goes back on the dyno, I can switch it to E85. I think I'm going to put a flex fuel sensor in it, and then we'll blend the two tunes so that way it can run on either. That way, if I do run out of E85 and Glamis, oh yes, Danny Roberts at Pueblo. I did know about that. I don't know what happened with that deal. I know he crashed, but that crash I posted, yeah, it was gnarly. Yes, yeah, I know about Danny passing, but I just haven't had a chance to talk to anybody about what happened. I know there was a crash, but yeah, safety is very important. I don't know if he didn't have the right safety equipment or what the deal. Yeah, that was a bum deal. I did, however, add fire suppression to my car, so I got a fire system in it now. After watching more videos of Jamie's crash and that fire coming through the firewall, my firewall is pretty sealed in that car, but I did have a couple of spots. The plunger on his brake booster came loose. Oh, wow. Oh, the one I got, the Mr. Car Tool one on Amazon, works pretty good. Would I recommend? Okay. Have I ever thought about trying to get a billet K series? Yeah, but it's big money, man. Oh, he had no shoot. How fast was his car? He had no shoot or it didn't come out? That big, maybe Kyle can get you a good deal. Yeah, billet K series motors don't grow on trees, dude. They're pricey. I'm not. Car ran sevens and did not have a parachute on it. Wow. I don't want to say I'm not a K series guy because I am. I was really heavily into K series stuff when they first came out. New Zealand, what up? Doing very well, thank you. Oh, I appreciate that, man. Thanks for watching. But I had so much B series parts from our race car that I just stuck with B series. It's what I had. If I would have known now or known then what I know now, I probably would have went K series. And reason being is the transmission stuff for all-wheel drive at K series, everything's interchangeable. So the front-wheel drive gear set for a K series, it's the same as all-wheel drive. It's all the same. That's the biggest downfall to B series is the transmission for all-wheel drive. This stuff is very, very expensive. Where a K series front-wheel drive gear set works in an all-wheel drive transmission. H22 billet transfer case seems to be the H22 billet. No, they don't make an H22 billet transfer case. Just a billet transfer case. A USD is a K series front wheel drive box. Just a dog box. I saw a used one on Marketplace for like $3,000, $3,200 for a K dog box with a cuff in it. Where a used B box is $8,000. $1,731 US for a front wheel drive gearbox. A stock one or a dog box. An untouched K series front wheel drive box, $600, $700. I have one. I have a Honda Element 5-speed in my front garage for my daughter's car. That's going to be K series, and the sequential that Kyle runs is about $20,000. An untouched K. So the cool thing about the Element transmission. Good night, brother. The Element transmission has a provision in the back of it for you to slide a transfer case into it. So it's already all-wheel drive. All you need to do is add a transfer case to it. It already has both ring gears in it. So that's why I bought the Element 5-speed. She can learn how to drive the car on front-wheel drive, and then when she's ready to go faster, we'll convert it to all-wheel drive by just doing the rear diff and putting a transfer case in it. So again, that's another thing, just K series stuff's all interchangeable, which is great, which keeps the cost down. They're coming. We're supposed to hit the dyno with that car on Thursday. We're dynoing Joe's car, Weto's car, and maybe my bug. I'm waiting for the owner of the dyno to get back to me to see if we can rent it for the day. And then we'll go from there. See if that works. Yep, that works. Sweet. Do I like K20 or K24? I had a K20R in my car, a Type R motor, which I loved it. It ripped. But a TSX motor, the K24 is the way to go. 2.4 liters and all that RPM. Good motor. You just got to change the oil pump in them in the 2.4. Either do the 2 oil pump or the S2000 oil pump. Yeah, that's higher. The K20 revs higher. Not as much rotating mass as the 2.4. 2.4 is going to make more torque, but the 2.0 is going to give you more RPM. You got to remember too the level that Kyle is racing at. he is on the ragged edge of a cast block. I think the MR2 is making between 12 and 1400 horsepower when it's on kill. Maybe more. I'm not sure. But when they get that car ironed out, I guarantee you that car will be the fastest MR2 in the world. 100%. When they get that clutch slipper stuff figured out, that car is no joke. It is super fast. Do K-Series rails do good? They're okay. I've seen a couple K24 rails. The problem with Honda-powered sand rails, the Honda B-Series and K-Series stuff, is that those motors make their power higher up in the RPM range, and the Volkswagen-style transaxles don't like high RPMs. Probably to have smaller chassis. Yeah, smaller, lighter car, and it's rear-wheel drive. Yeah, it is. That car's going to be super, super fast. It's already fast. Like, Kyle's a good dude, man. I like him a lot. How long until Joe's truck's done? Check this out. That's funny you should ask that. I'm going to show you my board. Let me pick this up. Red Tatum, 50%. Joe Fab Truck, 50%. Wedo Car, 80%. Actually, I can change that. Wedo's car, while we're changing shit, is 99%. I got about an hour on his car tomorrow. Joe Fab's Truck, 50%, and this Tatum is about 80%. So that's where we're at. I do keep a schedule. Honda from PFI, Razzle Dazzle before February. New spindles, powder coat, arms and spindles, and retune with boost control. Razzle Dazzle is currently in Colorado at PFI. Sorry for the. Razzle's going to get Fuel Tech FT550 put on it and get retuned, and then it's coming back for new spindles, and I'm going to powder coat the arms and everything on it. So I talked to Kyle last week, and he's supposed to be getting a Fuel Tech for it soon. The best budget-friendly rail, in my opinion, is whatever you can afford. But if you're just getting into it, find something like in a cheap A-arm car or like a mid-travel beam car, something with some suspension, and then work your way up from there. Don't go all out. I was telling somebody asked me this question earlier. They might not be in here anymore, but if you buy this car brand new, it's like $200,000. Don't start here, because if you end up not liking the sport, just don't start there. Obviously, I'm not in that car that much money, but if you were to buy a new San Limo, brand new paint, powder, big motor, trans, everything, you're looking at 200 plus. Work your way up to this, definitely. Unless you're just balling out of control, then start here. Start with a couple of those. All right, 10 more minutes, guys, and then I'm gonna clip this thing off. So what else you got for me? As it is 8:30. Do you have good deals on used Fox? We don't deal in Fox. I have a friend that has a set for sale. If you want to send me a PM later, I'll give you his information. He switched from Fox to King. He's got a set of coilovers and bypasses. I want to say they're 12s and 16s, maybe. I'll have to ask him. They were on a 2-seat long travel car. It's got bypasses and coilovers. You already have bypasses. Okay. Yeah, we're really not like I said earlier, I'm not a Fox guy. I'm a King guy. You can see right there. It's like the biggest part of my car that jumps out is my Kings. So Carl from Shock Talk's going to take the car after Christmas. He's going to respring it, get everything dialed in, and then I can finally powder coat the springs. I'm going to powder coat the springs purple. And then I was going to Cerakote the shock bodies black, so not quite sure yet on that, but definitely powder coating the springs purple to get all the blue and stuff off the car. Yeah, do the black. Yeah, I just can't wait to get Carl to dial this thing in because it makes such a difference. All right, guys, a couple more minutes and then I got to jump off. So what else you got for me? Sit back and relax. All right, another question. I'll be watching your dyno video. Oh, nice. Right on. Thanks for watching, man. All right, guys, if you guys don't have any more questions for me, I'm going to jump off of here. And don't forget okay. Goals for that car, I want to run an 8-second pass. If I get it in the 8s, I'll be happy. That's what I said when I ran my first 10-second pass in that car on my birthday 3 years ago. I said, if this thing runs a 10, I'll be happy. And after I ran my first 10, we turned it up, and I ran a low 10 and then a high 9. And I was like, oh, shit, this thing has the capability of going fast. So how much does a car like Weto's cost? New with a Honda V6 and a bus trans. Don't quote me, but I'm going to say close to 80 for a brand new car. 80 to 100, 75 to 100 range. Chassis and arms are like 25 grand. So it goes up from there. So anyways, guys, don't forget, if you jump onto theduneaddict.com, everything on the site is 20% off. Get you that, and that's until Christmas Day. And then that deal ends. Got some new merch coming out very, very soon. The camo hats are back in stock, our best seller. Jump on over and grab yourself some merch. And if you guys put Cletus in the notes, I'll throw in some transmission parts out of his blown up transmission. So one way to get rid of it. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, subscribe. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers this season. I know it's hard, but that's my goal. When we get to 100,000, we're going to build an Outlaw Baja bug, one of our San Lomo Outlaw Bajas, and I'm going to give it away to one of you guys watching. We'll do a drawing. We'll do a deal where we sell merch, and for every $5 you spend or whatever on this, kind of like what everybody else does. But we're going to build an Outlaw Baja, and I'm going to give it away to one of you guys. So 100,000 subscribers, and we start building that car. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give us a like and a subscribe. Share this with your friends. Subscribe. We'll get us to 100,000. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Later.